All right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to call to order the City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. It's October 1st. Verizon says it is 9:01, so we can get started. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the magistrate for this morning's hearing. First thing I'm going to do is, if you're here for a code enforcement matter, you're in the right place. I'm going to swear all of you in at one time, including city staff. So if you're here for a code enforcement matter, if you could stand if you're able and raise your right hands for me. I'll swear everyone in at the same time. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated. A little bit about process for the first part of today's hearing. When you hear your case called, you're going to come to the podium here to my left. City's code enforcement staff will come to the podium that's on my left. I'm sorry, you'll come to my right. They'll be on my left. City will go first. They will present their case to me. They will show the evidence that they'd like to enter into the record on the screens that are on both sides of the wall behind me. They'll present any testimony they have, present any witnesses that they have. Once they have completed their case, you will then get an opportunity to show me anything that you've brought with you that you'd like me to see today, say anything to me that you'd like me to consider in terms of verbal testimony, cross-examine any witnesses that the city has called. And then once both sides have presented both of their cases, I will make a final ruling, and you'll get an order that reflects that ruling in the mail or as you leave the hearing here today. So with that, keep in mind that all of your testimony today is given under oath. And with that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
Did you swear everyone in?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you did? Okay. First case number 1412 34th Street, CEBLD 25070789.
Good morning. My name is Raymond Stevenson. I work for the City of West Palm Beach. Code case number is CEBLD 25070789. The address where the violation occurred, 412 34th Street. The violation I observed was a front entrance double door that was installed and a covered patio, the south side of the house, which I believe was a floodal room, some kind of addition. I issued a violation and posted the stop work order on the job on the 7th of the 1st, 25th. I noticed that the notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on the 9th of the 16th, 25th, and was posted on the property on the 9th of the 22nd, 25th. The certified mail was left on the 9th of the 22nd, the 25th. My observation to support each violation, again, was the front double door and the patio on the south side of the house, which I believe is a flooded room. The pictures shown truthfully and accurately depict the alleged violation and reflect what I am testifying to. Permits and inspections are required for the work I observed and for what is displayed in the pictures shown. Permits have not been applied for, permits have not been issued, inspections have not been performed. Included in my file is a copy of the notice of violation and affidavit of posting. The city recommends 30 days to comply and $50 per day after that. The time to bring the alleged violations into compliance, I believe, is a reasonable amount of time. I am submitting as evidence a copy of this case file, including all documents relied upon.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
And Mr. Stevenson, you said I see the structure in the back, but was it also a front door, did I hear you say?
Yes, a front entrance door, yes.
Okay. And no permits on file for either?
No permits on file.
Have you had any communication with the respondent?
I spoke to him briefly, and he says that he was going to be taking care of it, but he's done nothing. He hasn't submitted any application forms, anything as yet.
Okay. Is the respondent here for this case? All right. For the record, the respondent is not present. Let me just look at the rest of the documents quickly. And was there a posting affidavit in there? Can I see that? I missed that, I think, if you already showed it. Perfect, thank you. All right, anything further from the city in this case?
No.
All right, in case CEBLD 25070789, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the building inspector, that the respondent's in violation of sections 105.1 and 110.1 for the work done without the required permits and inspections. I'll require the respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $50 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Next case number 23, 1100 State Street, CE 25073903. Number 23, 1100 State Street.
And let's go ahead right now. I saw a bunch of people walk in who need to be sworn in. So if you were not here when I asked everyone to stand and raise their right hands for me, if you walked into the hearing after the hearing had already started, if you could stand if you're able and raise your right hands for me. I'm going to swear all of you in who snuck in after we got started. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Good morning. Special Magistrate Morgan is here representing two properties as the property manager. It is, the first property is 1140 State Street, and the second property is 1040 State Street as well, just to give you a heads up in case you want to hear them back to back. Good morning. I'm Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed an abandoned structure with rotten wood and needing paint at 1100 State Street. This property is vacant. I initiated my investigation on July 25th of 2025 and observed the following violations. 18103B, condition of the structure, primarily the exterior. 7434A1H, trash container in public view. 18106G, paint. 744C1, hurricane hazard. There's a tree that's growing into the structure. 9471C, outdoor storage. 18209A, to register the vacant property. 18212C, sign requirement. There's a sign that's needed to, with information to let the city know that the property is vacant. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. That notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 5th of 2025 by the city's clerk, and I posted a notice of violation at the property in City Hall on July 31st of 2025. I also completed the affidavit of posting on July 31st of 2025. I revisited the property on September 29th, 2025, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18103B, 7434A1H, 18106G, 744C1, 9471C. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property, and these photographs show the violation still exists on the property, and they are accurately and truthfully depicting what violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, but I have been in contact with the property managers, both Morgan and Luke, throughout this process. I spoke with Luke on the phone yesterday, and the plan is to completely redevelop the structure and the landscape. So completely tear it down, rebuild everything, including the landscape. And this will require permits and additional time. Luke and I discussed 6 to 8 months, but Luke did state that he would like to request additional time, and that Morgan will be here to speak at the hearing on the behalf of the LLC requesting additional time and their reasons why. With that being said, the city is requesting 8 months to comply or a $100 per day fine.
Thank you, sir. And do you believe 8 months is a reasonable amount of time for the property to come into compliance for the outstanding violations?
Yes, more than.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence, barring any objection.
right, well, she's scrolling through the final documents there. What's your name, ma'am?
Morgan
What's your last name?
Milstead?
And you're the property manager, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you've heard what the city has said. Let's start with the easy part, which is the documents that have been scrolling on the screen. Do you have any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
No.
Okay. So the city is asking me to give you 8 months to come into compliance with these sections. What's your response?
We would accept the 8 months. We do, however, would ask for at least a year just for unforeseen work that might need to be done or depending on how long permits will take. Because like he said, we're doing everything redoing, plumbing, electric, siding, roofing.
So you're not tearing the existing building down, you're rehabilitating the building?
Yeah, the structure, but depending, if it's rotted or not, it will be,
Okay.
it's complete redo.
Okay. Have you started that process yet?
No, we just got an agreement with the contractor, so we should be starting pulling permits this week.
Okay. And I guess just a question for the code officer. It looks like there's a couple of violations that don't have anything to do with the structure. So do you want the same timeline on those, the garbage can and the hurricane hazard, or do you want those remedied sooner?
So I would like to just keep it all together because I know it's going to become an active site. Don't
Okay.
want to necessarily cheat them out once they start the process. But the reason for the 8 month is that the structure was purchased by the LLC in 2019, and it's been that way since. So it's becoming an eyesore to the community. I tried to explain to Luke the 8 months would be reasonable timing because if you start the process of removing things and demoing it, some of the violations will start to comply as you are doing the work. You don't have to wait for the finished project to have everything complied. I also try to state that if by 8 month time frame you are coming to notice that you're not in compliance, then you can call and try to request for an extension then. The main goal here is to try to get the process moving.
Right, right.
So that's the reason for the 8 months.
And I think that's fair, right? Based on the way that you've cited this, this really has to do with the exterior of the structure. So if they start their work with the exterior, that could be done while they're continuing to do what they're doing on the interior of the structure.
Correct.
Okay. All right, anything else you'd like me to hear, ma'am?
No.
Okay. I'm inclined to go with the city's 8 months. I think, 8 months is more than enough time to get all the way through the process, but especially given the fact that all you have to do is comply the roof and the exterior to technically get into code compliance, and then these other more minor violations that don't have anything to do with the structure itself. 8 months should be more than enough time, but to the code officer's point, if you're getting close to that and you have some delays, be in touch with him so that he can give you the path to asking for an extension, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, with that, in case CE 25073903, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in that case file, which included an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 18103B, 7434A1H, 9471C, 744C1, and 18106G. I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 8 months, or $100 per day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter. Best of luck to you, ma'am.
Well, and the related adjacent property is number 27, 1040 State Street, CE 25073908, number 27.
All right, thank you. So Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. As previously mentioned, this property is very similar. While on routine patrol, I observed the abandoned structure with rotten wood and needing painting at 1040 State Street, and the property is vacant as well. I initiated my investigation on July 25th and observed the following violations: 18103B, condition of the exterior structure; 18106B, which is excessive growth around the property; 18106G, painting the structure, 18214B, securing the vacant property; 94485E, the surface of the parking, the driveway itself is starting to become overgrown; with dirt and just needs to be cleaned. 18209A, registering the vacant property. 18212C, sign requirement for the vacant property. And 18265B, board and securing certificate needed to secure the property. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. That notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 5th of 2025 by the city's clerk. And I posted a notice of violation at the property and city hall on July 31st, 2025. I also completed an affidavit of posting on July 31st. I revisited the property on September 29th and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18103B, condition of the structure; 18106B, excessive growth still around the structure; 18106G, to paint; 18214B, to secure the vacant property; and 94485E, the driveway still needs to be cleaned. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property, and the photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation I observed during my investigation. Pretty much similar with this former property. I have been in contact with Morgan and Luke, who are the property managers, and we discussed a 6 to 8 months time frame for this property as well, and additional time was expressed needed. So with that being said, the city is requesting 8 months to comply this property as well, or $100 per day fine.
Thank you, Officer Lattimore. And do you believe 8 months is a reasonable amount of time for this property to come in compliance?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
All right, same thing, your name for the record?
Morgan Milstead?
Thank you. So you've heard again what this city is saying. On this case, it sounds pretty similar. What's your response? What's going on with this one?
The same thing as the last one. It's just been sitting. We finally have the funds to start fixing the 4 buildings up. It was just
Are there 4 buildings on that site?
2.
or just-
Sorry, 2.
Okay.
Front and back unit. And now we have the funds. We just got the contractor's agreement, so we'll be should be pulling permits this week.
Is that the same scenario? You're renovating the building and not tearing it down?
We'll be doing both at the same time.
Okay. All right. And the city's again asking me to give you 8 months. What's your response to that 8 months?
We would like a year, but we do think we could get it done in 8 months.
Okay. I'm inclined to give you the same time. The argument is essentially the same here, but again, keep in touch with Mr. Lattimore if something happens that's out of your control and you can't move forward under that timeline so that you can get an extension. But I think 8 months, especially if you're already in the process of getting contractors, that should be ample time for you to get it done. Any objection to the documents that you've seen on the screen being entered into the record?
No.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from the city?
No.
All right, with that, in case CE 2507398, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which included a signed certified mail as well as an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 18214B, 18103B, 94485E, 18106B, and 18106G. And I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 8 months, or $100 per day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 28, 1031 18th Street, CE 2508393, number 28, 1031 18th Street.
Is that one of you? I think that's you.
1031 18th Street.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, sir.
All right. Good morning, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed unpaved parking at 1031 18th Street, and this property is occupied. I initiated my investigation on August 13th, 2025, and observed the following violations: 18106B, excessive growth; 7894C to cut the grass in the parkway, 94442C1 to sod the areas where grass is missing, 7434A1H, trash can in public view, and 94482A to cease the unpaved parking. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. That notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 22nd of 2025. I posted the notice of violation at the property in City Hall on August 20th of 2025. I also completed the affidavit of posting on August 20th of 2025. I revisited the property on September 29th, 2025, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code section, 94442C1. There's still sod needing in the landscape. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The photographs show that the violation still exists on the property, and they accurately and truthfully depict my violation, the violation I observed during the investigation. The property owner is present, and I have been in contact with the property owner throughout this process. The property owner recently purchased this property, and he's in the process of redeveloping the property itself, which includes painting the property, which I verified that he's trying to paint the property. With that being said, the question primarily and concern is the landscape. The property owner plans to pave the entire right side of the driveway where the landscape is needing the most grass. So the city is recommending 120 days to comply this case by either paving the entire driveway as he plans, which would give him ample amount of time to go through the permit process, or to just lay down sod. If not complied in 120 days, the city is recommending a $100 per day fine.
Thank you, Officer Lattimore. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, your name, sir?
My name is Juan Liuba.
What is it?
Juan Liuba.
What's your last name?
Liuba. Liuba.
Are you the owner?
Yes.
Who's Juan Delgado?
Juan Liuba Delgado. That's my second last name.
Oh, that's yours. Okay, so that's you. Okay, great. All right. You've heard what the city has said. Let's start with the easy part. Do you have any objection to the documents that have been scrolling on the screen being entered into the record?
No.
Okay. So let me ask if the photos could be shown. Mr. Lattimore, so where is the grass needed? Is it all in the front yard, or is it just on the strips on the side where the car's been parked?
Pause right there. You can see there from just constantly not parking on paved driveway. That's an area that needs to be sodded. And then in the front of the home as well, there's little patches of grass where he put down seeds, and the property owner put down seeds, and they are growing in. Again, the retainer wall to the right, we already discussed that. That's been stripped because he's in the process of painting the home as well. So there's additional violations that were not cited for due to working together. But as you can see there as well, there's just little small areas in the front landscape where the grass needs to grow back in. The main focus is the right side of the home, and it's the owner plans to pave all of that if possible with a driveway, which he will be able to now park his car. So the city did not wanted to give him ample amount of time to go through that permit process, instead of asking him to put down the side and then possibly pulling the side
Tear it back up.
which,
Yeah, I totally understand that. I just wanted to make sure that he understands that in addition to whatever he's doing on the right side with the driveway, he still needs to make sure that he fixes those parts in the front yard as well. You understand that, sir?
I understand it. Yeah.
Okay.
my mistake, yes.
All right. Anything else you'd like me to hear? It seems like 120 days, that's more than enough time for you to get this done.
Is it possible to give me extra time? Because for budgeting, I try to comply all those violations. Is it possible for you to give me extra time? We comply as soon as possible. I try to do it as soon as possible. But
Well, what the city's asking me to give you is 120 days, so that's 4 months. Okay. So that should be plenty of time, and what they've accounted for is they understand that you're potentially going to pull a permit and pave the drive aisle there on the side of the house. So if this were just get the grass put in, you could comply that in 30 days. So they're asking me to give you more than that because they understand that you're going to try to do something a little bit larger than that to give you time to get the permits and get that done, assuming that you're allowed to do that. I think 4 months is ample time. I think from a code compliance perspective, if you run into an issue with the driveway and you're not able to do that, don't lose sight of the fact that you still have to come into compliance. So if you can't put the driveway down, you're going to have to put sod down or figure out another way to get grass down there. So whether it's seed that grows or sod, something to create the sodded landscape that's required by the code, or the sodded yard. Is that clear?
That's clear.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No, all set.
Okay. Anything else from the city?
No.
All right, in case CE 25083973, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents that are in the case file, which include, again, a certified mail that's been signed for, as well as an affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of section 94-442C1, and I'll give the respondent 120 days to come into compliance with that code section, or a $100 per day fine will be assessed for each violation continues thereafter. So keep in touch with the code officer. If you have any delays, let him know, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck to you, sir.
Number 5258 Bloomfield Drive, CE 25073872. Number 5258 Bloomfield Drive.
Good morning. Don Williams. I'm on behalf of Kevin Levine this morning on this case. There is a stipulation signed by the Kevin Levine and the property representative, and that stipulation reads as follows. All code violations are still outstanding, and he will grant them additional 90 days to comply. Those 90 days or January 2nd, 2026. If not complied by that date, a $200 per day fine will start and assessed against the property. Here's a copy, Special Magistrate.
And the city attorney, you've seen this, sir? Okay.
Special Magistrate.
All right, your name, ma'am?
Eileen O'Malley?
All right, so your name is on here. You've seen this as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you have signed this on behalf of your client. All right. I guess just a question for the city attorney. All you need for me to do is approve and sign this, or what do you need me to do with the record for today's hearing? Anything?
Yeah, just approve it on the record and sign it.
Okay. All right, Ms. O'Malley, anything further that you'd like me to hear?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so with that, I will note for the record that the city has handed me a stipulation. The code officer read the important parts relative to compliance and the fine amounts, but this has been signed by both the respondent as well as the city of West Palm Beach. So I will approve the mutually agreed stipulation, and I will sign and date the bottom of it. Today's date, 10/1/25. All right, with that, I'll give this back to you, sir, and I presume you'll give a copy to Ms. O'Malley. Thank you, ma'am.
Number 201033 18th Street, CE 25083974. Number 201033 18th Street. Mr. Lattimore stepped out. Is respondent Joseph King present?
He just went to the restroom. Let me see if I can catch him.
You want to skip to the next one, and we can come back to that one?
Sure, that's fine. Let me grab him. He's here.
Okay, number 827 Ridgewood Drive, CE 25063718. Number 827 Ridgewood Drive.
We're gonna have to reschedule this one,
Reschedule?
and he's here. Okay. Oh, okay, he was here.
Yeah, the code officer had a family emergency.
Okay. So I guess that probably hasn't been communicated to this gentleman. So the city is telling me that the code enforcement officer had an emergency, so he's not here, so they're going to reschedule your matter, okay?
Okay,
So somebody will get with you after the hearing and let you know when they're rescheduling it for, okay?
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, back to number 20, 1033 18th Street, CE 25083974.
Good morning, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. This case is similar to the previous case regarding the paving of the driveway that we recently heard. While on routine patrol, I observed unpaved parking at 1033 18th Street. This property is occupied. I initiated my investigation on August 13th of 2025 and observed the following violations: 94442C1, landscape missing grass, and 94482A to cease the unpaved parking. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations in my contact information and notice of this hearing date. That notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 22nd of 2025 by the city's clerk, and I posted a notice of violation at the property in City Hall on August 20th of 2025. I also completed the affidavit of posting on August 20th of 2025. I revisited the property on August 29th of 2025 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 94442C1, the landscape is still missing grass. I took the photographs at the initial investigation, and when I revisited the property, the photographs show that the violation still exists on the property, and these photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violation I observed during my investigation. The property owner is present, and I have been in contact with the property owner throughout this investigation. And I explained the violations and how to comply them. The property owner was allowing his grass to grow a little more to fill in as many of the patches as possible. And I did receive and saw photos today that the grass has now been cut. So I have to go back out to the property. But with that being said, a similar situation, the property owner is in the process of paving a driveway where the grass is primarily missing that needs to be sodded. So the city is requesting 120 days to comply with the landscape where the grass is missing. If no compliance, $100 per day.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, your name for the record, sir?
Good morning. My name is Joseph King,
And your relation to the LLC?
the owner.
Thank you. All right, so you've heard, I guess let's start with the easy part. Do you have any objection to the documents that have been scrolling on the screen being entered into the record?
No, other than the landscaping looks a lot better than the previous photos.
Okay. You've heard what the city is saying. They're asking me to give you 120 days to come into compliance. That seems like that should be more than enough time.
I request 6 months if possible, and the reason is, or being so, I've gotten some estimates on having a driveway paved, and it's a lot more expensive than anticipated. So the easy thing to do is to throw some grass seeds or resod.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to pave the driveway if possible, but that's budget and, again, an expense that wasn't anticipated and a lot more than expected.
Okay. Is this a rental property?
It is, yes.
Okay. So I understand that, but that's essentially a business decision that you're making. Your alternative to come into compliance is to put some sod down.
Sure.
Or plant some grass, which you could do within 30 days. Are there areas, Mr. Lattimore, in the front, or is this just the side as well?
So it's the entire front landscape where the van is currently parked. Their grass needed to grow back there. And then the driveway itself, which the street apron is on the right-hand side where you're currently looking in the photos. I have now seen photographs showing the right side of the property. After the grass has been cut, that section has grown in. But the left side where the driveway is at still needs to have some form of sod put down or to pave the driveway.
So the other areas in the front yard are complied?
Yes,
Okay,
much
so
better.
it just is the area where the driveway is?
That correct.
What's the city's response to his request for additional time?
The city response is still the 120 days, factored in the upcoming holiday process to obtain the permit. And given that one section now is the section of concern, grass can either be sodded there, which will comply the case of paving the driveway. So it's still options to comply the case. And I believe that the city believe that 120 days is enough time to comply.
Okay. All right, I'm inclined to grant what the city is asking, just given that you've complied the front yard, and that's really not a lot of sod to put down, so that's a pretty nominal expense to get yourself out of code enforcement trouble if your concern is the expense of paving the driveway. And 120 days is more than enough time to solve that with grass rather than the driveway. Anything else you'd like me to hear this morning?
No, again, I'd like to push back and request 6 months. I understand whatever decision is made. I'm also considering value in the community, and the easy thing, again, is to throw some sod down and, be done with the case. But I'm also considering value, and so I just don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm trying to increase value in the community, but I don't give myself enough time, so it comes back to impact.
Yeah, and I certainly hear that, and I appreciate your arguments. I think I would say the same thing that I think you heard me. You may have stepped out, but that I heard the couple of prior respondents. If something happens and you're not able to make progress towards getting the driveway installed in those 120 days, you can certainly communicate with the code officer and discuss an extension of that time. I think my concern is to not just give you a wide open time for compliance, but to try to get you going on a path toward getting into compliance. And again, you can choose to do it however you want, but I have to be sensitive to the fact that during the time that I'm going to give you, the driveway is going to be left to look the way that it is now. So I know you're making progress, and I certainly don't want to dissuade you from doing that, but I think there's a path where you can probably do both, and should you need additional time than the 120 days that I'm going to give you, you can talk to the city about getting an extension to that, okay?
Okay.
Anything further from the city?
No.
All right, in case CE 2508-3974, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent is in violation of section 94-442C1, and I'll give the respondent 120 days to comply with that section, or $100 per day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter. Keep in touch with the code officer should you need more time than that, okay?
Okay, could I add one other thing to the record?
Go ahead.
I am waiting for zoning and planning to respond because I did request, so I got asphalt and concrete estimates, which are expensive. So I'm waiting to hear back from zoning and planning on any other options.
Okay. I appreciate that additional testimony.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Number 19, 1025 18th Street, CE 25083971. Number 19, 1025 18th Street.
Good morning, guys.
All right, good morning. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach. Code enforcement officer. While on routine patrol, I observed unpaved parking, a damaged fence, and overgrown grass at 1025 18th Street. This property is occupied. I initiated my investigation on August 13th, 2025, and observed the following violations: 18106B, excessive growth; 7434A1H, trash container in public view; 7894C, to cut the grass in the parkway; 94302A4, to repair the fence; 94442C1, the landscape is missing grass; 94462E, to edge the grass growing on the sidewalk and street; and 94482A, to cease the unpaved parking. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. That notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 26th of 2025 by the city's clerk. And I posted the notice of violation at the property and the city hall on August 20th of 2025. I also completed the affidavit of posting on August 20th, 2025. I revisited the property on August 29th, 2025, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections. 94442C1, the landscape is still missing grass, and 94482A to cease the unpaved parking. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The following photographs show that the violations still exist on the property, and these photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during the investigation. The property owner, I'm not sure the representative that's here today, if he is the property owner or not, because I was not made aware of anyone, the owner or any representative attending the special magistrate hearing, this hearing. The city is requesting 90 days to comply. If no compliance, a $100 per day fine.
Thank you, Officer Lattimore. Do you believe 90 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come in compliance?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Mr. Lattimore, just a clarification, I think, on your testimony. Your reinspection was on September 29th, is that right?
Thank you. I do believe I said August 29th, but September 29th was the reinspection.
Okay, perfect. All right, your name, sir?
My name is Reginald Glass. I'm the property owner.
Yeah.
I purchased the property maybe a year and a half ago.
Okay, good morning, sir. So you've heard what the city is saying. It looks like from the list of original things that he cited you for, you complied most of them. There's just a few that are outstanding. So, and he's asking me to give you 90 days. What's your response?
So I would have to see exactly. I don't know what the codes are for the violation. So depending on the code, the violations, you know, then I would have to look. So if one of the violations was a fence, you know, we got estimates on that fence. It's upward of $10,000. And so that was.
Let me have the code officer explain to you what the two that are outstanding are, just so that you're clear, because I don't think it has anything to do with that. But
I complied the fence.
Okay.
So if you look at the photos behind you, the rocks that's in the, okay.
All right.
That one is a tad bit bigger for you, but either one, sorry.
Yeah.
The rocks that's in the front landscape,
Yeah.
You have to remove those rocks and approved plant material listed on the notice of violation or sod. Sod would be the easier
So
route.
when we purchased the property, it was all rocks, and that's just weeds in there. So we weeded that. You know, we did our best to kind of get the weeds back out of there. That was all rocks when we first purchased the property, and so I thought, well, hey, it'd be easier just to go back to the rocks, wouldn't it? Versus letting the weeds grow or plant grass there.
Right. So the city code, you have to have the front landscape with grass or approved plant material. Okay. One of the main reasons with those rocks that I have been told is that as the rainwater wash away, those rocks are so easy to get into the storm drain systems. Okay. And they cause a lot more problems throughout the city. So the front landscape, we will have to resod it with grass sod. Okay. And then the same situation with the cars that's parked on it's unpaved parking. I'm not 100%. I don't think you have a paved driveway in general, but the cars right now they're
on
unpaved.
The left-hand side,
right. Yeah. And as you can see in the photo behind you, the fence was damaged. It's now fixed. And then I wasn't quite sure if underneath the grass, if there is a paved driveway there or not.
Yeah, so that was a driveway at one point, and it just kind of got overgrown. I have some pack rats for sons, and so my two sons, you know, they live there permanently. So, you know, I've made it very clear to them, hey, this, you know, the city is not allowing you to kind of just have your way with this property with all the new development going on in the area. So I completely understand.
Yeah, so the landscape, the unpaved parking, the cars will have to be removed. Then the landscape will have to be sodded as well. And I highly
possible to do a driveway on that side where it was at, or can we get that paved? And so that violation would be very expensive as well. And some of the stuff we can, you know, do ourselves, but not paving the driveway.
That was my next recommendation. I definitely understand that the community and the area itself is, there's a lot of homes without paved driveway, but as the city codes updated, we now require paved parking. So I would highly recommend, although I did not cite for it, I would highly recommend, like the previous cases you heard, to consider paving your driveway, so that way you have a place. But right now, the city does, given your street, you can park on the street. So moving the cars off of the unpaved parking and parking them on the street will help to comply to one violation that's not in compliance. But then you have to tackle the landscape itself, which sodding would be the easier route to take. And if you do decide to get the driveway paved, then
Yeah, I probably would go with the driveway. It's the parking in that area is not the best, and so you will come home and you have nowhere to park. And so I think it was designed initially with the open gate for that to be a driveway. And so we would pretty much ask for more time to get estimates about how much it would cost, or if we can possibly do it ourselves to pay the driveway.
And did you say, is there an underlying driveway under there?
Yeah, it's a driveway there. And, so if you look, that gate there is 2 openings. And so when we purchased the property, that was, now my son ran the fence down, you know, with his truck. He didn't mean to, but, you know, they don't know, you know, they're young. And so not that gate there, but if you go back where the cars are parked, it's a 2 opening. And so that was initially a driveway. It's actually a ramp leading into that back there.
Special Magistrate, if I may.
Go ahead.
I think the question, just so you understand it, is the driveway paved or is it just dirt there? Is it concrete?
I thought it was Class 5 at one point. So it's not the rocks that's there that you see. It's like Class 5 maybe. So it was never, I don't think it was paved.
Okay.
There you go. It's not paved.
Okay.
And in terms of compliance, to comply out the parking on the paved area, the cars could be moved, and he could keep them moved and call you for an inspection and comply that out, and separately work on the driveway paving. Is that accurate?
In the landscape, correct. Yep.
Okay. The risk with doing that, sir, so what you could do is you could have whoever owns these cars move the cars, call for an inspection, have him come inspect when the cars are not there, and then you've complied out the parking on the unpaved area. The risk is that based on the evidence that I have this morning, I'm going to find you in violation of that. So if the cars come back, they can get you on repeat violation. They can recite you for a repeat violation and then not have to give you time to comply. So although it can get you into compliance quickly, just be aware that you could be recited if the cars go back there. Any objection to the documents that you've seen on the screen being entered into the record?
Not at all.
Okay. Does the city have anything further based on what they've heard from the respondent, given his plan?
No.
All right, anything further from you, Mr. Glass?
Nope, not at the time.
All right.
Special Magistrate, if I may, the ask is still 60 days, $100 per day.
I think I wrote down 90. Is that what you originally asked?
I mean,
for?
90.
Yeah, I'm going to, for consistency's sake, I'm going to give him the same 120 as the prior, because the testimony is virtually identical with regard to what he's planning to do. I don't think that hurts the city a whole lot, and I think that gives him even more reasonable amount of time to comply. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time than the city was asking me to give you, just because your case is
very similar,
quite similar to a couple of prior cases where I was happy to give them 120
block.
days.
It's all 3 houses in a row.
Yeah, so keep in mind, communicate with the code officer. So your first job here today was the good one showing up to the hearing, because this is the time where you get more time if you come and ask me for it. So you accomplished that, but certainly keep in touch with the code officer as you go through the process. And if you need additional time, make sure he understands that going forward.
I think we'll connect with the other property owners and see if we can't get us a
Yeah, you may be able to
deal.
have the same contractors permit all of it. But all right, with that, in case CE 25083971, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'm going to find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which included a signed certified mail, as well as an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'm going to find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-442C1 and 94-482A, and I'm going to require the respondent to comply within 120 days, or a $100 per day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue. So keep in touch with him if you get close to the end of that time, okay?
Right.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Case number 4, 600 4th Street, CE 25084015, number 4, 600 4th Street.
Good morning. Mark Slater, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on August 28, 2025, and posted on August 29, 2025. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on September 3rd, 2025, and signed for on the September 9th, 2025. I have been in contact with the property owner, which is present today. The property remaining violations are 74-4C1, hurricane hazard. I observed trees that are overhanging electrical wires. These photographs were taken by me and accurately depict my observances. As of September 30th, 2025, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 45 days for them to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, the city is asking for $100 per day.
Thank you, Officer Slater. And do you believe 45 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come in compliance?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, so that's the tree in question, is that correct?
Yes, and just for the record, the owner has been in contact with FPL to try to get it rectified.
Okay. All right, your name, sir?
Alan Klassfeld.
And what's your relation to the?
It's owned by my family.
Okay, so you're the owner. All right. So, and it looks like, Code Officer, you cited him for several. You cited the property for several things, and this is the only one was outstanding as of your reinspection. Is that correct, based on all those photos?
Correct.
Okay. So all that remains here is the hurricane hazard. So you've been in touch with FP&L.
Yeah, FB&L took 2 weeks to go out there, send an inspector, and then they said that it's going to take up to a couple weeks in order for them. So 45 days is completely fair, and we should be able to get it resolved. The issue is the tree is, or the bush is too close to FPL property, and for safety reasons, we can't touch it.
Okay. But you think they're telling you that 45 days is enough time for you to get this resolved?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Do you have any objection to the documents that you've seen scrolling on both sides of me being entered into the record?
I do not.
Okay. Let me just look at the rest of them. All right. Anything further you'd like me to hear, sir?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Anything further from the city?
Nope.
Thank you very much.
All right. In case CE 25084015, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both the signed certified mail and the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of Section 74-4C1, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that section within 45 days, or $100 per day fine will be assessed for each day the violation continues thereafter. Same thing I told the prior gentleman, but probably even more so in your case. If there's any hiccups in terms of the remedy being done in those 45 days, just make sure you communicate with the code officer, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have for contested matters. Number 2, 813 39th Street, CE 25084002.
Good morning, Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I observed several violations at the property located at 813 39th Street, which is a vacant lot. The violation included sections 18-215-B, failure to comply, 74-4-C-4, trees, edges obstructing right of way, there are palm trees blocking the sidewalk, 94-446-2-E, edging, the palm trees that are, and the grass growing overgrowth, 18-106-B, excessive growth all around the vacant lot. They have cut some of it, but not everything. I initiated my investigation on August 25th, 2025. The city issued a notice of violation, which included the violation, my contact information, and provided the notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed, both certified and regular mail, on September 2nd, 2025 by the city clerk. The certified mail was received and signed for on September 6, 2025. In addition, I posted the notice of violation at the property and City Hall on August 27, 2025. I completed an affidavit of posting on that date, which is included in the case file. I revisited the property on September 15 and 30th, found that none of the sections were complied after speaking to the owner, who stated that she had cut. Photographs were taken during my initial investigation and my follow-up visits. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violation as I observed them. The property owner is not present today. I have been in contact with her. I've also included a corresponding email in the case file. I explained the violations, the steps to cure them, and the details of the special matters hearing today. At this time, the city is respectfully requesting 15 days to comply or $100 a fine.
Thank you, officer. And do you believe that's a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come in compliance?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, so that looks like they cut a good bit of it. What's left outstanding?
So everything is still left because they still have right around it where the edges are not cut. The palm tree is still obstructing the right of way, and the edging is still not done.
Okay, so they didn't cut right up against the edges of the property, you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
And I did communicate it with her. So I sent her the photos of what
Okay.
needs to be done.
Okay. And the tree, so that's a before photo. What's the obstruction of the right of way? Where is that?
Like right here.
Okay.
So you can't walk, like literally if you're walking, you're hitting on the palm trees.
All right, and you have that in your photographs from 9:30?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Okay, right there. Okay. All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
I guess I just need to see the affidavit of posting, and we should be good. All right, thank you. In case CE 2508-4002, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18-215B, 74-4C4, 94-446-2E, and 18-106B, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those sections within 15 days, or a $100 per day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 3, 630 49th Street, CE 25083976.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Jacks, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. 630 49th Street was cited on August 20, 2025. Service was accomplished by both regular and certified mail sent on August 26, 2025. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on August 21st, 2025. I have not been in contact with the property owner. The property was cited for the following code violations: 18106A, clean and sanitary; 7434A1H, trash can in public view; 744C 3, overgrowth; 94302A 4, fence maintenance; and 9471C, outdoor storage. I took photos at the initial investigation, and when I revisited the property, these photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation observed during my investigation. As of yesterday, September 30th, the property has not come into compliance with the following code sections: 18106A, 7434A1H, 94302A4, and 9471C. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 30 days for compliance and $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, officer. And do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come to compliance?
Yes.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
All right, for the record, in case CE 25083976, the respondent is not present, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents that are in the case file, which include signed certified mail as well as an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 7434A1H, 94302A4, 9471C, and 18106A, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those sections within 30 days, or $100 per day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 6, 1610 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, CE 25094050. Number 6.
Good morning, Code Officer KT Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. I received a complaint for the property at 1610 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard on September the 3rd of 2025. I went to check the complaint and took photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on September the 5th of 2025, citing multiple violations. The violations are 74-4-C-4, trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way; 22-32-A, obtaining of COU; 74-4-C-4, tree trimming; 18-106-A, clean and sanitary; and 94-446-2-E, edging. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on September the 9th of 2025. The affidavit of posting was completed on September the 9th of 2025, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on September the 25th of 2025. The certified mail was returned. The COU was applied for on September the 30th of 2025. So the application is awaiting a review, et cetera, from zoning. The property is still in violation of 74-4-C-4, 22-3-A, 74-4-C-4, 18-106-A, and 94-446-2-E. I have had contact with the facility manager, Matt Rybczynski, who is in agreement with the city requesting an additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you so much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Okay. And you said they've applied for the COU?
Yes, he came in yesterday.
Okay, and 30 days should be enough time to get that
Yes,
issued?
ma'am.
No problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you said that they were in agreement with the 30 days? They thought they could get
Yes,
everything complied?
they have done a lot of the other work. It's just a few little things left. So he is going to be, he said within 2 weeks, but we agreed on the 30 days to make sure.
Okay. All right, with that, in case CE 25094050, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting as well as a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of section 74-4C4, 2232A, 94-446-2B, 18106A, and 94-446-2E, and I'll require respondents to comply with those sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Thank you.
Are we rescheduling all of Raphael's cases? Okay. Number 7 is rescheduled, 821 Franklin Road, CE 25083945. Number 9 is rescheduled, 3033 Clyde Road, CE 25073857. Number 10 is rescheduled, 316 Marlborough Place, CE 25094093. Number 11, 330 Clematis Street, 107 Sushiyama, CE 25083962.
Good morning, Don Williams, Code Enforcement. Susuyama business located on Clematis Street was cited on August 15th of 25 for a sidewalk cafe permit. That code section is 78-342-A. City Hall and the property posted August 19th of 25. The owner of the business has applied for that license as of September 19th of 25. I have made contact with them as well. So I'm asking for them additional 60 days to comply or a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you, sir. And do you believe that's a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to obtain the sidewalk permit?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Distinction.
Is there an affidavit of posting in there?
Yeah. It's in there. It's in there. Look on the poster. That's it? Thank you. There it is.
Do you filled out an affidavit? of
Oh,
posting?
the affidavit, yes.
Yeah. Do you have that with you?
No, I don't. I have it with me. Not in there? I thought it was. It's not in there.
There's a photograph of it posted. What happened with the certified mail?
Is there? I don't know what's going on with those cases. Something happened. Oh, shit.
Do you have the posting affidavit somewhere in hard copy?
I can make sure. No, not with me.
If we went to the next case and came back to this one, or skipped over this one and came back, is there a way to get the affidavit of posting? I just need something to verify good service.
Affidavit of posting. I'll have to do one up to make sure. I don't know if it's was ever put in there or not put in there. I don't know why not, but I'll have to actually do one up. Actually
Okay.
make one on the system. 'Cause once we get to supervisor, normally approve them, and that would be part of the approval.
Yeah, or something with this certified mail having been delivered or signed for. So let's, if we could, can
Okay.
we skip over this
That's-
one and we'll come back to it before we
I
conclude?
got one that has an issue, so we can reschedule that one as well. Because I got a couple I got to reschedule because of that problem.
Okay.
Okay, we can reschedule. That's not a problem.
Well, I'm happy to skip over it, but if you want to reschedule it, that's fine.
Reschedule it. That
Okay,
way I
that's
make sure I
fine.
have it, what we need. We won't have to have a problem with it.
Okay.
Okay.
So 11's being rescheduled.
Yes.
Number 12, 531 Clematis Street, O'Shea's, CE 25083961.
Yeah, that one has to be rescheduled.
Number 13, 700 South Rosemary, 112 True Food Kitchen, CE 25083963.
That one has to be rescheduled.
Number 14, 105 South Narcissus Property LLC, CE 25084006.
That one complied this morning.
Number 15, 523 Clematis Pizza, CE 25083969.
Okay. Don Williams, Code Enforcement. Clematis Pizza was actually cited on August 19th of 2025 for a sidewalk cafe permit. It's Code Section 78-342-A. No previous permit was on file. Certified mail and regular mail sent out August 26th of 25. City Hall and the property posted August 20th of 25. Contact with the business owner. I had made contact with the business owner. So I'm asking an additional 60 days to comply, or one-time fine of, 6 days to comply, or a $50 per day fine after the 60th day.
Thank you, Officer Williamson. Do you believe that's a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to obtain a sidewalk cafe permit?
Yes.
Thank you. Special Magistrate of the City, we'd like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
And this one, have they applied yet or no?
No, that's why I'm giving them a daily fine. I don't know why he hasn't. I had contact with him, but still hasn't applied.
No progress toward compliance. All right, let me just look at the rest of the files in there. All right, you have a signed certified mail, so you have service. All right, in case CE 2508-3969, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 78-342A, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that section within 60 days, or a $50 per day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Number 16306 South Dixie Ganache Bakery, CE 25083952.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement, Ganache Bakery was cited on August 13th of 25 for a sidewalk cafe permit. That code section cited was 78-342-A. There is no previous permit on file. However, the owner have applied as of August 27th of 25 for a new permit. Certified mail, regular mail sent out August 19th of 26. City Hall and the property posted August 26th of 25. Contact has been made with the owner. My recommendation is 60 days to comply, or a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you, sir. Do you believe 60 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to comply?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
And this one, how do you have service? It looked like the signed green card, but it also looked like returned.
Hot pie pizza. I did post.
You posted?
August 19th of 25.
Did you send the certified mail to more than one place?
Yes. No. Certified mail. I don't have the address. This only sent to the the Dixie Highway address.
Okay. Okay.
306 South Dixie.
306, so that's the signed certified mail, so that's fine on service.
He was here
Okay.
this morning, but he left. He decided to go over to the city and make sure to get it completed, but he was here this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, in case CE 2508-3952, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 78-342A, and I'll require a respondent to comply within 60 days or assess a one-time fine in the amount of $250.
Number 17123 South Olive Avenue, Hot Pie Pizza, CE 25083951.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement, Hot Pie Pizza was cited on August 13th of 25 for a sidewalk cafe permit. That code section cited was 78-342-A. The owner have applied for a sidewalk cafe permit on September 19th of 25. Certified mail, regular mail sent out August 26th of 25. City Hall and the property posted August 19th of 25. Contact was made with the owner. Actually, he was here this morning. He just went over to City Hall to complete it, get everything completed. So my recommendation is 60 days to comply, or a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you, officer. And do you believe that's a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come into compliance?
Yes.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
right, in case CE 25083951, I'll enter, first I'll note for the record that the respondent's not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include a signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 78-342A, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that code section within 60 days or assess a one-time fine of $250.
Number 18428 Clematis Peach Wave, CE 25083958.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. The business is Peach Wave, was cited on August 14th of 25 for a solid walk cafe permit, code section cited 78-342-A. The owner of the property has applied for the permit on August 25th of 25. Certified mail, regular mail mailed out August 19th of 25. City Hall and the property posted August 19th of 25. Contact has been made with the owner, and my recommendation would be 60 days or one-time fine of $250.
Thank you, sir. And is that a reasonable amount of time, in your opinion, for the property owner to comply?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
How do you have service on this one? Okay, there's some more files here. Okay, signed, certified. All right, in case CE 25083958, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include signed certified mail, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of section 78-342A, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that code section within 60 days or assess a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick question for number 15, for Clematis Pizza. I have down 60 days or $50 per day. Is that accurate?
Yeah, because they haven't applied for anything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Number 21, 1106 18th Street, CE 25083982.
Good morning. Just to confirm, it's agenda item 21, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed trash and debris, a restricted trailer, and outdoor storage at 1106 18th Street. This property is occupied. I initiated my investigation on August 20th of 2025 and observed the following violations. 18106A, clean and sanitary. The front of the structure, clean and sanitary for the trash and debris. 18106G, to clean and paint the structure. The front portion of the structure has what appears to be mold or algae growing on it and needs to be painted or pressure washed. 7434A1H, trash container in public view. 9471C, outdoor storage. 744C5, yard and garden race. It looks like the grass was recently cut and they just left the trimmings throughout the neighborhood. 944462E, to edge the grass that's growing on the sidewalk and the street. It's grass that's growing on the street. And 94487B6, the restricted vehicle, which is the trailer that was parked in the front of the yard. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 26, 2025 by the city's clerk, and I posted a notice of violation at the property in City Hall on August 25th, 2025. I also completed an affidavit of posting on August 25th, 2025. I revisited the property on September 29th, 2025, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections. 18106A, there's still the trash and debris. The grass is growing, so it's kind of hard to see it, but there's still some trash and debris in the front landscaping. 18106G, to clean and paint the front structure, and the structure in general. 94446-2E, to edge the grass growing primarily onto the street. And 7434A1H, the trash containers, they just stay out in public view. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The photographs show that the violations still exist on the property, and they accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, and I have not been in contact with the property owner or representative. The city is requesting 30 days to comply. If no compliance, $100 per day.
Thank you, Officer Lattimore. And do you believe that's a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come in compliance for the outstanding violations?
Yes, I do. The main thing is the painting of the structure. If they pressure wash the structure, I do believe that they will take care of what you see on the outside of the structure in the front area. But it may need paint. So with that being said, it depends on how to comply it. So I do believe 30 days is enough time. The city will be willing if the special magistrate would like to provide more time.
Thank you very much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
All right, and you said you've had no communication with the respondents.
No communication, and just for the record, this property is very interesting because I am not able to find any proof that it's a rental property, but I do believe it is a rental property, but I have yet to find evidence to confirm that.
But somebody's living there.
But someone is living there. Yep. And there's two structures. You saw the mailbox that I try to highlight that has 1106, but A and B. But someone is living there. Yep.
Yeah, given that you cited this originally over a month ago, I'm happy to give you the 30 days. If nobody's communicated with you, then that's never ideal. If people come here and ask for additional time, I'm always happy to accommodate that when it's reasonable. But I think in this case, since nobody's here and you haven't heard from anybody and nobody's communicated with you, maybe the 30 days will light a fire under somebody to get something moving here. So with that, in case CE 2508-3982, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include a signed certified mail as well as an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 7434A1H, 18106A, 94446-2E, and 18106G. And I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 22, 1037 18th Street, CE 25083957.
Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed overgrown grass and broken concrete on a vacant lot. This lot was later identified as 1037 18th Street. I initiated my investigation on August 13th of 2025 and observed the following violations. 18106A, clean and sanitary for the trash and debris. 18106I, landscape requirement for the concrete, broken concrete. 7894C, the parkway area overgrowth. 944462E, edging of the grass that's growing on the sidewalk and street. 9471C, outdoor storage. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 18th, 2025, and I posted the notice of violation at the property in City Hall on August 15th of 2025. I also completed the affidavit of posting on August 15th of 2025. These numbers. I revisited the property on September 29th, 2025, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections. 18106A, clean and sanitary. There's still trash and debris on the vacant lot. 18106I, landscape requirement. There's still concrete thrown everywhere. 7894C, the parkway area is still overgrown. And 944462E, there's still grass growing onto the sidewalk in the street primarily. I took the photographs at the initial investigation, and when I revisit the property, the photographs show that the violations still exist on the property, and these photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. The property owner is not present, and I have not been in contact with the property owner. The city is recommending 10 days to comply. If no compliance, the city is requesting abatement.
Thank you, Officer Lattimore. And do you believe 10 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to comply given the condition of the property?
Yes, I do. If you don't mind, Monique, whenever you hear the moment, I just wanted to take a look at the photo. Okay, yes, wanted to make sure I'm speaking about the right property. That is correct, yes. 10 days is enough time.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to insert the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
Just a couple of questions, Mr. Lattimore, then. So when you recited the code sections that remain in violation, was 18106B supposed to be in there, or was it in there? Everything is still out of compliance, is that correct?
Yes, there's one that I, thank you for the catch. I do miss, I believe 18106B. Let me go back really fast. 18, yes, for the excessive growth. I accidentally missed it off. That's the reason for the abatement as well. Thank you, Special Magistrate, yes.
Okay. And then as it relates to the abatement, is the city intending to abate everything or just the excessive growth?
Everything. This property has been pointed out to me. It's along 18th Street, and multiple individuals within the community has pointed out the property in general, and they're over it. I did let them know that my plans were to ask for abatement to get it clean and cut. Yes, so.
And you'll clean up the concrete and the clean and sanitary violation as part of the abatement?
Yes, as part of the abatement, I'm going to, hopefully, the contractor will be able to remove the concrete as well. Yep. And cut the trees in the background that are overgrown, that's growing onto the property that you heard from testimony earlier today, and just keep people from illegally dumping and maintaining the lot in general.
And is it your testimony that the violations of the sections cited here that you listed out, that those constitute health, safety, welfare violations?
Yes, I did see what appeared to be a rodent run across the street when I was actually there. It moved too fast for me to take a photo of it, but yes.
All right. All right, in case CE 25083957, I'll note for the record that the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include signed certified mail, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer as well as the photographs in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106I, 7894C, 18106A, 94446-2E, and 18106B. Can you pull up, Madam Clerk, the notice of violation? Is that 18106I or L? Let's see what the notice says real quick. I forgot to check that when it popped up there before. I think that's actually an L. Would you
L.
agree?
I agree, yes.
Okay. All right, so let me correct that. I'll find that the respondents, based on the photographs and the testimony of the code officer, are in violation of section 18106L, 7894C, 18106A, 94446-2E, and 18106B. And based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that those violations amount to health, safety, welfare violations. Require the respondent to comply with those code sections within 10 days, or I'll authorize the city to abate each and every one of the violations.
Number 24 is complied, 809 20th Street, CE 250-83983. Number 25, 1013 13th Street, CE 2507-3884.
All right, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed the overgrown grass at 1013 13th Street. This property appears to be vacant. I initiated my investigation on July 14th of 2025 and observed the following violations. 18106B, excessive growth. 18106A, clean and sanitary for the trash and debris. 94485E, to remove the grass and dead vegetation from the driveway area. 7434A1H, trash container in public view. 78-1, excessive growth that was obstructing the sidewalk right away. 9471C, outdoor storage. Primarily there's building wood or building material that's in the front landscape area that's thrown across the front landscape. During an inspection on August 25th of 2025, the notice of violation was updated to include the following code sections: 18106K, landscape maintenance for sod, and 94446-2E, edging of the grass that's growing into the street and onto the sidewalk. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified all of the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was notified by certified and regular mail initially on July 28th, 2025 by the city's clerk, and the new notice of violation was noticed and certified by regular mail on September 8th of 2025 by the city's clerk. I posted the notice of violations at the property in City Hall on July 28th, 2025, and reposted the updated notice of violation on September 3rd of 2025. For both notice of violation and their postings, I completed an affidavit of posting for each. The first one, the affidavit of posting, was completed on July 28th of 2025, and the second affidavit of posting was completed on September 3rd of 2025. I revisited the property on August 25th and September 29th of 2025 and observed the property not to be in compliance with all of the code sections, the following code sections: 18106B, excessive growth; 18106A, clean and sanitary; 94485E; 94446-2E; 7434A1H; 18106K; 9471C are violations that have not been complied. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The photographs show that the violations still exist on the property, and they accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, and I have not made contact with the property owner or a representative. The city is requesting 30 days to comply. If no compliance, $100 per day fine.
Thank you, Officer Lattimore. And do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time?
Yes.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
right, can I see the second affidavit of posting from September? That's the July one, okay, yep. There we go, sorry about that, I missed that one. All right, in case CE 25073884, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include affidavits of posting for both the original notice and the updated notice, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code officer that the respondents in violation of section 94-485E, 18106K, 7434A1H, 9471C, 18106A, 94-446-2E, and 18106B. And I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days, or a $100 fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
Number 26, 1910 Beautiful Avenue, CE 25083956.
Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. I received a phone complaint from a tenant regarding mold in her home that was causing health problems for her and her family at 1910 Beautiful Avenue. This property is occupied. It is a rental property. I initiated my investigation on August 12th of 2025 and observed the following violations. 22441, no rental license. 2232A, no certificate of use. 18106A, clean and pressure wash the sidewalk. 94442C1, side the landscape where the grass is missing, or where it's required, 7434A1H, trash containers. And 9471C, outdoor storage. There's like tires out in public view on the second story of the apartment building. The rental building, An inspection of the interior was not completed during the investigation due to mold concerns. The tenant was advised to obtain a certified mold report, and I also advised the tenant that in order for the property to be into compliance, since it is a rental property, that code enforcement will inspect the interior of the property before issuing the rental license, but try to steer her towards obtaining a mold report. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 18th of 2025. I posted the notice of violation at the property in City Hall on August 15th of 2025. I also completed the affidavit of posting on August 15th of 2025. I revisited the property on September 18th, September 29th, and September 30th, and observed the property not to be in compliance with all of the code sections still remain outstanding. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The photographs show that the violations still exist on the property, and these photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, but I made contact with the LLC registered agent via email. I do believe I included the email correspondence in the case file. An update was provided by the representative on the progress towards complying the violations. And I did inform in the email the city stance it was going to be 30 days to comply, or $150 per day. But I did not get a response back saying that they agree or do not agree. I don't think I included in the email file, but they emailed me earlier today saying thank you for the additional time, so I'm not sure if they agree with the $150 per day. So with that being said, the city is requesting $30 days to comply. If no compliance, $150 per day.
Thank you, Officer Lattimore. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
And there's no COU or BTR on file?
If I think these are the photos. If she keep going down the last page. They started the process. Here we go, bingo.
Okay.
They started the process. The application was processed on September 30th, but they have to, and payment was submitted, I believe, later on September 30th. So they started the process. They just have to go through all of the inspections.
And 30 days is enough time to do that?
I believe 30 days is enough time. I want to just stay on the record. I would wish to have a better communication with someone, a representative, because I don't think they understand a few of the code sections. For example, the sodding of the landscape. If you look at the photos, they keep putting down mulch, but there's a certain percentage of grass that needs to be placed in the front of the property, which they are not meeting the code requirement. See, that's the beginning photos, and if you look at the ones that I recently took, all of that is just new mulch. So that's a waste of money. The mulch is causing the washerway to wash onto the sidewalk and just messing up the sidewalk completely. So I do believe 30 days is enough time to comply.
All right, in your evidence of rental, that for rent signs out there, and you said also this case initiated as a tenant complaint?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. I think I just need the posting affidavit, and that should be perfect. All right, in case CE 25083956, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the notice documents in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections A, 7434A1H, 94442C1, 22441, 9471C, and 18106A, and I'll require a respondent to comply with those code sections within 30 days. $1 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violations continue thereafter.
That completes the first part of the agenda.
All right, with that, I'll adjourn this portion of the hearing at 10:49.